Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jamie and we do bullet journal content. Today's video is my new reading journal setup. Yes, this video is a few months late, but it's fine. It's better late than never, right? So this is my first time in a square notebook or an 8x8. I got this one from a subscription box from Illumicrate, so I thought it's very fitting to use it for my reading journal. The cover says, "For finding dreams that don't exist yet." I just think it's gorgeous. Inside the cover, I used some scrapbook paper to make a pocket, and then I decorate the cover page with purple scrapbook paper that matches the pocket, and I had these beautiful butterflies that I felt went really well with the color scheme. And I love my reading journal because it's like my scrapbooking happy place. This is where I get to just, have fun and layer stuff down, and it's just a bunch of fun. So this is like my me time, and I just have a lot of fun with it, and it's very relaxing for me. So filming is really easy. It's the editing part and the voiceovers that take me a while, so that's why my videos are always, months late, because I just can't seem to bring myself to do all the voiceovers and the editing. But flipping over this next page doesn't really fit well, it doesn't lay flat, so I'm just going to go ahead and tape these two together. Not a big deal. So this next page here is, I felt like just doing like a quote page and just some fun stuff. So this is just more of the purple scrapbook paper with the script on it, and then I found a quote by George R.R. Martin, and I found a sticker that is a book dragon. So yes, these needed to go in my bullet journal because, I'm not a bookworm, I'm a book dragon because I love fantasy. So that's what we're doing here. And then I have some just script printed papers, so I just added some of that in here. And then I have some script like sticker that's on like a roll, so it's kind of like a washi tape, but it's a clear backing with script on it. So I just went ahead and cut just little chunks of that, little paragraphs at a time, and I'm just going to go ahead and put those around the page as well. Flipping over to the next spread, this is my monthly and yearly goals page. So this page starts all of the tracking pages that I put in my journal. So I made sure that they all kind of have a similar feel or layout for cohesion. So they're all going to have border outlines and labels. Later I do go back and replace my labels because I just write them with some craft paper labels just to make them pop a little bit more, and I think it works. Okay, so the next page is my to read page, and this is going to be laid out into 3 columns. The first column is going to be carryover reads from last year that I wanted to read but I didn't get around to. The second column is going to be recommendations from friends and family of their favorite books and series that I asked for on social media. And then I have plenty of room on the right to continue making a list as the year progresses. Yes, I use my phone during the setup for spell check. It's fine. The next spreads are my daily read tracker and my genre trackers. So again, the same type of layout for cohesion. My daily read is this year I'm doing it just in a year in pixels format. So these are fun to fill out because it's just like a bunch of colored, I'm using my colored dot markers to fill these out. So that'll be really fun. And I just want to see what my year looks like at a glance. With the genres and formats I read my books in. So the key that I'm adding in here for my daily read tracker is the format of the book. So it's a physical read, a ebook, an audiobook, a library book, or a manga / graphic novel. And so these will be the different formats, and then each one will have a color associated with it. For the genre trackers, it's basically a pixel format too. It's just a bunch of lines with boxes, and these are broken up into multiple genres that I think I'm going to read throughout the year. So we're going to have fantasy, historical fiction, mystery thriller, science fiction, romance, which I'm going to put like rom-coms and dark romance in that genre. Then nonfiction and poetry, because I want to try to read more of that. Young adult, Christian fiction, Christian nonfiction, and then regular fiction. And I don't fill all of these out to begin with, but I do go back and figure out which ones I want to add. This next spread is my Read My Shelf challenge, or basically just a list of all the books that I am reading that I physically own or I own on audio or ebook. Dot markers are going to identify which format I read the book in. And this is one of the challenges I set for myself this year, is to try and get through my physical TBR a lot more. So for this layout, again, I'm just going to go ahead and break these pages up into 3 columns, and then the book will get written just the title of the book, and then the dot marker will be associated with which format I read it in. At the end, I do go back and add my library books at the right, on the right side at the bottom, and go up, whereas my physical books are on the far left at the top and going down. This next setup is my series tracker and my backlist books. So on the the left page, I'm going to list the series that I want to make progress with this year, because I've started 50 series, which won't fit on this spread, but obviously I have to prioritize what I want. So I'm going to write the name of the series and then put a circle underneath the name of it for each book in the series. Then I'm going to have a key at the bottom. So if it's a black circle, I own the book. If it's a gray circle, it's published, but I don't own it. And then a gray dot if I read it before this year started, and a brown dot if I read it during this year. Just so I can see, you know, at a glance, what my progress is, because I do want to make progress. The backlist page setup didn't get caught on camera, so I will show those later during the flip through. Okay, so the next pages are my challenge spreads. So, starting with a backlist bingo board that I found on Pinterest. And then the following page is going to be banned books and books that will blow your mind lists that I also found on Pinterest. So I do go back and add a tip in so that I can have like a running list of the books that I read for the backlist bingo board, because I just felt like that would be fun so I could actually track the books that I read. And you can see here I'm very contemplative, I guess is the word, on which books to add for which page on these challenges, because I do have multiple pages of challenges, but I do get it figured out in the end. This next page is going to be my A to Z challenge. So previous years I have done this with the title of the book that starts with the letter in the alphabet. Usually you can exclude the or the A or the an, you know, that first little word, to be able to get them all. But this year I thought I would switch it up and do author's last name. So the challenge will be reading a book from an author that their last name starts with every letter of the alphabet. So that'll be a year-long challenge, so I'm really looking forward to doing that this year. On the left page of this spread, we have my Buzzwordathon challenge, which is run by Kayla, or Books and Lala, on YouTube, and she gives us 12 prompts. So throughout the year, you can either read them in order or however you want to. She's like, I don't really police it or anything, just she gives us the prompts and then we do it. So it's a Buzzwordathon, so buzz equals bees. So I have a lot of fun with this every year. So I do like a honeycomb background, and then I've got bumblebee stickers that I put on it. And then I'll just print out the book cover and then write what the prompt was for that month underneath it as I read them throughout the year. So this next set of spreads is going to be my 2024 new releases spread. So this is going to be broken down into 3, 6, 9, 12, obviously. 12 boxes, one for each month of the year. And then the book will be listed along with the date, if it gives me a date, specifically which date of the month that it'll be released. And so throughout the year, I can go to this spread and add books that I am excited about that are coming out this year, or ones that I want to keep my eye out for either checking them out from the library or getting the physical copy. And so this is just like a running tally list of the books that I am excited for throughout the year. This is always a really fun one to do, I think, because then I can track which books that I either did or did not end up reading throughout the year, and then I can use this spread in setting up my book for the next year for books that are my carryovers that I didn't get to that year but I'm still excited about. So I think this spread is really versatile and always fun. So here is a look at the first spread that I got to film with my little, what do we call it? Craft paper labels that I made. So I go back and do these craft paper labels throughout the setup again to add to the cohesion, but I just felt like it was missing something, which needed a little bit more, you know, pizzazz. So craft paper it is. This next set of spreads is my books read and books bought bookshelf tracker. So these pages are broken up into shelves, and then on the shelf I will list out the books by month of which ones I read and which ones I bought. And then I'm going to go ahead and have a little key so that I can do a little color code. So the colors for the books read are going to be 5-star reads is brown, DNF is gray, and an unhaul is a darker blue. And then for the books bought, the red is going to be brown and the unhauled is going to be the blue. So the same color scheme will be throughout both pages, so I think it'll look really nice and cohesive. Again, this is a spread that I got inspiration from Monica, there we go, or Bibliophile by Night over on Instagram. I am trying some of her spreads this year, so I'm giving her all the credit in the description box below. For the next spread, we have my book bracket of 2024. So this is where I pit books head to head for the best book that I read that month or the favorite book that I read that month. It doesn't have to be a 5-star. It can just be one that I had a lot of fun reading and I just thought was, a great time. So a lot of people do like January will battle February, but I do January through June and then July through December. So January will battle July. Because if you read a bunch of books back to back, then to me it's not a fair assessment. So this is just a fun little one. So like January will battle July and then we'll get that one. And then February will battle August and I'll get that one. And then that winner will battle the one from January and July and so on and so forth. So we'll get 12 to 6 and then top 6 to top 3 and then top 3 to 2 and then to 1. So there's no wrong way to do this. This is just the way that I do it. These next two spreads here are my 5-star reads and my favorite reads. So obviously a list of 5 stars, but then the favorite reads can be, like I said, you had a great time reading it, you really enjoyed the world or the characters, but it maybe wasn't exactly a 5-star, maybe it was a 4, but you still really loved it. So that's my favorite read spread. Alright, jumping a little bit backwards here, we have my Taylor Swift bingo I found on Pinterest. That is on the left page, and on the right hand page is the first book club spread that I have, and this is Katie Colson's Smut Salon, hosted over on her Patreon account. So she is on YouTube and she has a Patreon, and this is the book club associated with the Patreon. Most of the book clubs that I follow are, so that's kind of how I do it, but each book club gets their own dedicated page, and then I will print out the book covers and label them per month which one we're reading, and then I will designate it with a sticker on if I did read it or not. The next two book clubs are the Citadel book club, hosted by Mel Reads over on Patreon on the left page, and then on the right page is OliviaReadsAlatte, and for hers there is a cozy cafe as well as the Fantasme book club on her Patreon, and Mel and Olivia both together host the Fantasme, so I'm more into those books than I am the ones she reads for her Cozy Cafe. So for Olivia, I am doing the Fantasme, and then for Mel, I am doing her Citadel book club. Next up we have Jess, or JashiiCorrin, over on the Patreon. I mean, she has a YouTube too, but the book club is over on, I think it's over on her Patreon. If not, it's just in the Discord. I can't remember. But we have upgraded to having 2 more co-hosts than just her. And then we updated the book club name to the BUJO Buddies Book Club because her Patreon and YouTube is all about bullet journaling and journals and planners and that sort of thing. Very stationary central. So the BUJO Buddies Book Club just made a lot of sense. Flipping over here, we have Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, who I follow on YouTube and Patreon, previously of How to Train Your Gavin. And then on the right, we have Erin Smith, who I follow on her YouTube channel. And then on the Discord for her, we have a PageMages book club, and that's a lot of fun too. So between these two, we're kind of in the middle grade YA, and then there is some adult in there, but I just thought these two went together pretty well too. Alrighty friends, we're going to do flip through of the journal. Now mind you, this has been set up for a while, but that's okay, better late than never. So the first thing I did here was made a pocket on my inside cover page here. So you can put whatever you want in there. I just have a little scrap of paper at the moment. You'll see why. And then my just cute little cover page, it's my reading journal. A lot of these pages will have purple and text pages and then like a scrapbooky kind of feel, and that's just what I do in my reading journal. And so this is like the pages that are like not exactly open, so I pasted them together, so I made a thicker spot. So I just did a nice little book dragon spread here with a quote from George R.R. Martin. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads only lives one. So true. I love this page. I think it's so cute. And so right into the bare bones of it, we've got our goals and our to read. So I have monthly goals and then yearly goals. And then for the to reads, I have carryovers from the last year that I never got to. And then recommendations. I love that word. Recommendations from friends. For their favorite books and series that they think that I would like that I should try out. So of course there is room to continue that. And then I'll mark them off as I read them, obviously. Flipping over, we've got my daily read tracker. And I'll go ahead and get that little paper so I can show you what I used this for. But here I've got my key, so I've got different colors for the type of book it is. If it's a physical book, an ebook, audio, if I got it from the library, or if it was a manga or comic. Now, if I double duty, if I do a mix of like audio and physical or audio and ebook or what have you, like you could see here with the line and the 2 dots, that's where this guy comes in. So I'll put it up next to the line and use my dot marker so it only does the half, and then I'll come on the other side and do the other half, so I get the 2 colors. So that's just something that I am tracking just to see what format is, you know, the main one that I'm gonna go with. This page over here is my genre tracker, and so I have different genres obviously. And then I have my dot markers by month, color coordinated, so I can kind of at a glance just see how many I read in which month. So the red is January, the pink is February, so it was fantasy and romance mainly, and then March was heavy in the romance already. So that's that. Flipping over, we have my Read My Shelves challenge. So starting on the left and going to the right is books that I own. And then if I read it in a physical, ebook, or audio format, that's here. And if I did both, then I did the double dot. And then I wanted my library books somewhere and I didn't put them anywhere this year. So I actually started on the right and I'm going to go up and then over and just kind of see where I meet in the middle. And so all of these so far from the library have been on ebook. And flipping over, this is the series tracker. So if I read the series, which is all the circles are the books in the series, so however many books. If I read it before this year, it's a gray. If I read it this year, it gets the brown. If I own the book, it is the black circle. If the book is out but I don't own it, it's the gray circle. And then Throne of Glass, I'm doing a reread, and Green Rider, I'm doing a reread. So I have read these before, but I'm currently in the middle of rereads right now. And then this page is my backlist. So these are 4 authors and I want to read their entire backlist. So I've got Tessa Bailey, Harlan Coben, Emily Henry, and Mariana Zapata. And so I made these cute little pullouts, and then I put the little initial of who it goes to. And then book 1 starts here and it goes up. And that's how I'm counting it. So if I read it before this year, obviously it's the gray. The same applies here. Am I Tessa Bailey? I don't think I've updated this, have I? Yes, I have, because Emily Henry's got a brown, so I have updated it. Ah, get in there. I just made little pockets. I wanted these to be like the little library card ones, but I didn't make my pockets big enough, so this is where I'm at. But I thought that was really cute. And then obviously this was kind of alphabetical, I guess, until we got to this side. And then it was ones I started this year, so I can just continue to add series that I start. Okay, into my challenges. This is a backlist bingo board that I found on Pinterest and printed out. And then I did this after the fact, but I put in a little tip-in, I guess you'd call it, with washi tape so that I can log which, like for the non-fiction, just for fun, number 15, find it, number 15 was Anxious for Nothing. So I can just log what book I read that associates with which prompt, because I didn't do that last year and I kind of regretted it, so I wanted to try that this year. And then 25 books that will blow your mind. As I read them, I'm going to go ahead and mark them off. And then banned books. I have X'd off the ones that I have read. So these are ones that I want to work on. Then my A to Z challenge. This year I'm doing it by author last name instead of the book title starting with the letter. So anytime I read a book by an author, obviously, I check to see and I add it to my list. And then my Buzzwordathon from Books and Lala. Kayla's little challenge that she has every year. I'm not really sure how I'm doing the layout as far as like if I'm gonna write January or just put a J or what have you, but this was the book that I read and this was the prompt. And so they're just gonna go across, obviously, but I just don't know how I'm gonna like differentiate which month is which book. But any hoozle. And then I thought this was really cute. I found a Taylor Swift reading challenge. I mean, it's for 2023, but it really doesn't matter. So as I marked them off, I put whatever it was, like red was House of Earth and Blood, met that prompt. So that's how I'm kind of keeping track of that. And then we're into my book clubs. So we've got the Smut Salon with Katie Colson, and I'm on the Duchess tier on her Patreon. So these are our book club picks so far this year. Flipping over, we've got Mel Reads on her Patreon. I'm part of the Citadel. I'm a Grand Maester. So this is January, February, March, April, May, June. And then OliviaReadsAlatte, also on her Patreon, the Ice Caramel Macchiato tier. And this one is a bi-monthly, so every 2 months. So this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So it gives you a little more time to read it because she has her standard book club and then she has this, which is the Fantasme book club that these two actually co-host. So that's really cool. So I put their pages together, obviously. And then we have Jess, or JashiiCorrin. Again, I'm on her Patreon. I'm a BUJO Buddies book club, the In It to Win It tier. So January, February, March. So just as I get whatever we're reading, I'll just continue to add it. And then Books and Lala's Literally Dead book club. Hers is only 10 months out of the year, so this is actually February, March, April. So again, I have to figure out how I'm like labeling that. I haven't got that far yet, but. So for these, I guess I should have mentioned that, I am just kind of printing off like their banner and picture from either YouTube or from Patreon, and that's how I'm getting like these pictures and such, in case you're wondering. And then we have Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, previously How to Train Your Gavin. So we got his January, February, March picks, and Nevermorian on his Patreon. And then Erin Smith, I am a member on her YouTube channel so that I could be part of the PageMages book club. So obviously January, February, March. And I just thought these colors worked really well with her YouTube banner, so that's where I did that. Ooh, new releases page. Full disclosure, February has a lot more, but I couldn't fit them all. So I just put the ones I was most excited about, but there was a lot. So I do need to go in and update this because there's probably been some more announced, but if it has the date it's going to be released and then the name of the book, and that's just kind of how I did that. Just for the whole year. And then my books read bookshelf and my books bought bookshelf. So this chunk here is January, and then February, and then this is March. And then I have a key for if it was a 5-star read, a DNF, or I unhauled it. And then for the books bought, it's read or unhauled. And so far I've only bought one book this year and we're in March. So we're doing good. Trying to read what I already own. Now the book bracket. So I love doing this. This is really fun. So my favorite read of the month is which is gonna go here. It doesn't have to be a 5. It doesn't have to be the best book of all time. It just has to be the book I most enjoyed that month. So more of an in the moment, subjective situation there, but I printed out the little bitty covers and I'm just adding those in as I go. And then this page here is Melody picks my TBR prompts. So I have like, I don't know, 300 prompts or something in a jar, and I had my 6-year-old niece pick 12, so I have one a month. And so these were all the ones that she picked, and then I go ahead and label which one I read that month, and then I go ahead and list which book that was. So I've got January, February, and March done. So I thought that was really fun. And then we've got my 5-star reads and my favorite reads. Again, because your favorite reads don't have to be a 5-star. They were just a great time when you read it. Which these are both 4 stars. So they are favorite reads because again, I'm reading this series for the second time. The Ever Queen. I just had a great time with this book. But it wasn't quite a 5-star read. So that's the difference. So I just pencil in what my book titles are, and then when I get around to printing them out, then I just go ahead and add the covers. Probably gonna run out of room. I have to do like a little tip-in page where I can like pop it up. We'll see. And then my monthly review pages. This is new. So I'm really excited for this. Just kind of like a bird's eye view of all of the months. And then here are the review statistics that I'm tracking, which is books read, pages read, days read, which is interesting to track. Different genres read that month, how many 5-star reads, how many books I bought that month, book club picks that I read, how many novels I read, how many manga, how many books I borrowed from the library or a friend, and how many books I unhauled that month. So just at a glance, I could see I read 11 and I read 10, and that's just gonna be a nice little review for each month. Alright, moving on to the monthly pages. Alright, the monthly pages. Now, full disclosure, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I got a large amount of inspiration for spreads this year, because this is like my 3rd or 4th year doing a reading journal, from Monica, right? Yeah, Bibliophile by Night on Instagram. Jess, or JashiiCorrin, was kind enough to give us a flip through of her journal, and so I got a lot of inspiration from her, so I'm trying things out this year. I should have said that in the beginning. So, shout out to Monica and Jess. Anyways, back to it. So this is the first time I've done this. It's a daily reading tracker, so it's like Dear Erin is number 1. So I started that on Wednesday the 3rd, and I read it through the 4th, and then I finished it. The second one, The Best Thing, number 2. I started it on the 4th, and I read it through the 7th. So it's kind of like a visual of how long it took me to read that book, or how many books I was reading at one time, that sort of thing. So if there's an X, I DNF'd. If it's a straight line, I finished it. And I've got my book clubs and other reads. So this is book club person and book of that month. And then we had Winterween in January, hosted by Gabby over at Gavin Reads. And then my Melody Picks My Prompt one. And then for my challenges, I've got my Buzzwordathon, my A to Z challenge ones that I got that month, the bingo prompts that I filled, and the Taylor bingo prompts that I filled. Just to kind of at a glance see how many I got in the month. And I definitely had like a coffee theme this month, which I thought was really cute. Flipping over. This is a first for me. It didn't work out, so I redid it a little bit for this year, because last year I fell off the wagon. That's what I should have said. But I'm logging the book, the title, author, format, pages or hours, dates read, genre, and then quotes, and then what I rated it, and then the picture, obviously. So it's the same layout in every page. So I'm hoping that it won't get too thick, because I'm adding these so that when I flip this page over, these pictures are here. So it like evenly stacks as I go. Anyhow, so yeah, so I don't know what else to say. Just quotes that stuck out to me from the book. And then if I DNF'd, I logged that as well. This made me really sad because I really wanted to love Swordcatcher because I love Cassandra Clare. So I'm hoping maybe I can give her a second go, but I have the special edition, so I'm not getting rid of it. Anyhoozle, so I got 11 books read that month. And then February, I went with a succulents theme. Ain't it cute? So cute. So again, my reading list, and then, yeah, I didn't like how plain, how plain January looked, because you really had to look at the letter, or I mean the number, to figure out which one was which. So here was just a little bit easier because it was color coordinated. So like 9 is the house witch, so that was this lime green down here. So it was easier to track it that way. And plus it adds color. And so I just mixed the colors in from the color palette on the page. So I think it works. But again, I'm kind of enjoying this. I'm not really sure if it's like my thing or not, but again, we're giving it a go. It's only been 2 months, well 3 because we're in March, but anyway. So my book clubs, and then we had a readathon for the Citadel over with Mel Reads. So these were all of our prompts, and then the books I read that coordinated with that. The bingo, my A to Z challenge, my Taylor bingo, and my Melody Picks My Prompt book. I just love these succulent stickers. They're so cute. Anyway, flipping over. So we've got, again, the books, the information, the quotes, the ratings. And I just kind of love this because it's like at a glance. You could see the picture, memorable stuff as far as quotes go, and just, you know, logging stuff that I typically don't log. And again, this was the Citadel Readathon. Oh, I didn't actually fill this in yet. I'll do that. I don't know how to say that name, but this was our readathon, and then this was our bingo board, and I forgot to fill it out, but I'll do that. It's fine. But I did have an empty page, so I thought that it would be fun to add that in there, because it was during that month. So March is whales. I really wanted to use this washi tape. It's like a marble, but it's like a bluish teal, so I just thought it went really well with these blue whale stickers and dolphins. So pretty. So, any hoozles. So my book clubs are easy. First of the month, I always know what they are, so I can write them in. But my challenges, I pencil it in throughout the month, and then at the end of the month, I go in with a pen and make it permanent, obviously. I use the 01 Micron Fineliner because it writes really nice and fine. So, but the bingo, Taylor bingo, A to Z, Buzzwordathon, and Melody Picks My Prompts. Now Buzzwordathon last month, I didn't fulfill the prompt. I couldn't find a book, so I have February and March written down here to try to get both of them done. So we'll see. But I love this color scheme. It's just so pretty. And then again, the books, the ratings, the information, the quotes. Okay, so here's how I'm revamping it this year. I'm doing quotes that I liked from the book instead of doing reviews of the book, because I tried reviews of the book last year and I fell off after about 2 months. So I'm hoping just quotes that I like will be much more doable. So that's where I'm at. And then I have read a couple more books, but I haven't gotten the book covers printed yet. And then I have obviously all these empty pages, but these are the covers of the books I'm currently reading, which I just finished Thursday Murder Club. But if I know I'm going to read them, or I plan to read them this year, then I have them already pre-printed. And I will show you, woohoo, all the way in the back. I have all of these already printed out, which makes it easy because, like, I plan to read these, or they're book club books, and so on and so forth. So, hey, get back here. So, but I was going to put them in the pocket, but when they're this little, they get stuck at the bottom and I couldn't get them out. So, they're just back here being squished while they wait their turn. So, that's fine. So, yeah. So, I thought that this was pretty cool, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Next year, I think I could possibly do all of the monthly pages back to back, and then have the rest of the book just blank for the review pages. And that could work instead of having them dispersed. But there are like the little tabs that you can put like along the side here to differentiate the months. So I might get those, but we'll see. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with these different pages, the different layouts, the formatting. I'm having a lot of fun with it because journaling, it's my me time, it's my happy place, it makes me feel good. Reading is my jam, so I do read a lot, so that's helpful with being able to update this all the time, which is nice. So again, a lot of inspiration from Monica over at Bibliophile by Night on Instagram. So if you want to go ahead and follow her and Jess or JashiiCorrin, you can follow her too, and anybody I mentioned with the book clubs. So those will be linked in the description box below. So thank you for hanging out with me, friends, on my journal. I know it's 3 months late, but we got there, right? We got there. So I hope to see you soon with another video, okay? So be a good human, be kind, drink your water, have a good day on purpose, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, friends!